Hello YouTube, hello friends, subscribers and video game enthusiasts all over the world. In this feature of Ketils GEEK TV I will talk about vapourware, consoles that never were released to the general public. Now I've seen a lot of great collections out there on YouTube that you guys have, tons of Palm consoles, Sega's, Atari's, Nintendo's, TurboGrafx systems and systems that I've never even heard of. So I started thinking, you know, what about all those console systems that these companies never released for some reason? So I've done some investigation and I made my top 13 favorite vapourware consoles that were never released list. So I hope you will enjoy it.
Number 13. The Sega Neptune. We all know about the 32X add-on to the Sega Genesis/Mega Drive. The thought behind the Sega Neptune was to combine the Sega Genesis and the 32X to quench the Saturn hunger amongst Sega fans. By the time Sega had made a prototype, the Saturn was just around the corner. In addition, the 32X had flopped tremendously, and thus the Neptune was buried. Number 12. The Camerica Express. Camerica wasn't very popular within Nintendo, as they constantly challenged their licensing and publishing agreements. Camerica was the producers of the Game Genie, which created a lot of red faces on Nintendo XX. Camerica Express was supposed to be a portable NES, but it never saw the light of day since the company went knee-deep before its release. Number 11. The 3DO M2. The M2, a proposed upgrade to the 32-bit 3DO system, could potentially challenge the domination of the PlayStation. 3DO sold the project to Matsushita Panasonic in 1997, but they soon cancelled it, unwilling to compete with the mighty PlayStation. A couple of games made it to the Japanese arcades, and a couple of developers' systems are known to circulate on the market for around $10,000 US. Also, it appears that Matsushita incorporated elements of M2 technology into a coffee machine. The M2 could have made great competition in the video game market, as it was very capable for its time. Number 10. The Bandai Het. A huge laptop-like SNES, which, like the Camerica Express, was marketed by a third party. It was demonstrated at E3 in 1993, but didn't make it to the shelves as Nintendo sued to stop the project. This didn't align with their own Game Boy roadmap. For its time, this could have been a pretty decent system. Number 9.
Conix Multi-System. Experience the reality.
Conix Multi-System. A fairly unknown company called Conix that produced console accessories wanted to release their own system. They claimed it to be a powerful 16-bit system and announced a truckload of add-ons for it. Check out the hydraulic chair. Number 8. The Atari Mirai. Hey, now we are talking. This looks like a beefed up Atari XEGS. Unfortunately, little information can be found about this thing. Some speculate that it was a joint venture between Atari and SNK, as they were basically neighbors in Sunnyvale, and the chief execs knew each other quite well. A Neo Geo Atari ST 16-bit hybrid for the gamers on a budget. Well, this mystery is still to be solved. Mirai means future in Japanese, by the way. Number 7. The Sega VR. Virtual reality was one of those buzzwords in the 90s. Every nerd was waiting for a really good VR device which would make the boundary between reality and games seamless. The Sega VR didn't fulfill these wishes at all, as the limited hardware created a blurry image and reports of motion sickness and headaches came in. The system was scrapped in 1993, and the official statement from Sega was that their VR glasses was too realistic and could hurt the user when in traffic, for instance. Yeah, right. Well, at least Nintendo made it with the Virtual Boy. Number 6. The Ultravision. Now this would save you some space under the TV. The Ultravision was allegedly compatible with Atari 2600 in television, ColecoVision and its own games. I suppose those switches on the right were supposed to toggle between the different machines. The thing never came out and this company would fade away into obscurity. Number 5. The Action Game Master. Again a system which was supposed to be compatible with a lot of different formats. Producer Active promised the console could play NES, SNES, Lynx, TurboGrafx-16, Game Boy, CD-ROM games in addition to its own. And not only that, it was going to be a portable system. Okay, where can I hire the trailer to move the thing? The year is 1991. Talk about killing yourselves from the start with this kind of project scope. Well, at least they had the sales of Action 52 game pack for the NES and Genesis to get funds from. Number 4. The Phantom Game System. This little guy is the Phantom Game System. Suitable name, isn't it? Now this console received much praise after its debut as late as on E3 in 2004. The goal of the company Infinium Labs, later known as Phantom Entertainment, was to get it out on the market around the same time as the Xbox 360. But the launch date was delayed several times and in 2006 postponed indefinitely. Number 3. The Atari Cosmos. The Atari Cosmos was again a project that came a long way before it was cancelled. Atari had high hopes for this holographic tabletop system that was demonstrated in 1981. As many as 8,000 pre-orders were received for the system, but they were never shipped as the Atari management killed the project in the end of '81. Number 2. SNES CD. Nintendo also wanted a CD add-on to its infamous SNES console. The problem was that the compliance department didn't pay much attention to the bad moves they made while negotiating with Sony to produce the device. Nintendo went behind their back. They started talking to Philips, which caused legal issues and ruined the entire deal with Sony. It didn't work with Philips either, but at least something good came out of it. Contractual obligations led to Philips having the rights to make its own Zelda and Mario games for the CDI. Hooray! And dumb Sony, they just focused on the PlayStation. And the number 1 unreleased console is the Atari 2700. And why on first place? Because the reason why it was scrapped is so funny. This well-crafted follow-up to the Atari 2600 was a wireless system, but with no great hardware improvements. The technology and the controllers were based on garage door openers, so the controllers interfered with all other similar Ataris and electric garage doors within 1,000 feet.
I really hope you enjoyed this video about the vapourware, and just wanted to know I have a new video in the making. Does anyone have an Atari 2700 here in the area?
Let me tell you a story of whiskey politics. It's waiting on my body, and it will last 1,000 years. Been around the world, been loved 1,000,000 times. You just win it every time I say goodbye.